Howdy YouTube, Mark DeRemer here from Refurbished Gentleman, and today on RGTV, you're going to be watching a step-by-step tutorial of one of my finishes. Although this finish is about 3 to 4 years old, and some of the products, if not all of the products within the video, are products I no longer use. So what you're going to see is in the video description below and throughout the video, for the supplies used, I'm going to give you what I recommend currently. The main reason for that is if you contact me and say, hey Mark, I'm working through your finish and it's whatever you said to do is not working. If you use what I recommend, it's gonna be easier for me to help you walk through those steps. If you use some of these older products that I no longer use, it'll be harder for me because some products change, they change their formulas, all that different kind of things. It just makes it harder for me to walk through it with you. Does that mean you can't use your products or the products within the video? No, but I just wanted to be clear before you jump into the video that what's actually in the video is not going to be what I recommend based on those facts. So I hope you enjoy the video. I look forward to seeing anything that you guys create from this, and be sure to tag Refurbished Gentleman on all my social media if you do decide to try it. Right, today I'm going to be doing Annie Stone's black wax over a bright color. Bright colors a lot of times can just be overpowering, and you can use, in the past, the dark wax kind of to tone it down, really give it some cool, unique looks to it. Now you have an opportunity to use black, and I'm here to tell you it comes out really amazing over Emperor Silk. So that's what we're using today. Emperor Silk is our bright, and then we're going to use Annie Stone's black as the accent and wax at the end. So I'm using this drawer as kind of my sample board, just because it has some good spots to put the wax down into when I'm finished. I have a finished piece that I'll use for the final photos to show, along with probably this drawer when it's complete, to show you what really, amazing change that can happen when you use that Emperor Silk with some black wax over top of it. So obviously to start, you're going to paint your base coat. For this, depending on the look you're wanting to go for, Emperor Silk's kind of cool because I found out when you're going over, it's kind of a red wood color or along those lines. If you pull and drag the paint until it's dry and just do the one coat, you can see a lot of the grain of the wood through it, and then with the black on top, really cool look. So that's what we're going to go for today. So we're probably going to do one coat of paint, but we're going to ensure complete coverage, but a nice thin coat, and see if we can keep the lines and knots and all the neat little parts of it showing through, because that's what you're going to have in my finished product that's already done. So I'm going to grab some off of my top here, and I'm simply going to paint this on. And again, just get good coverage, get down in all the cracks and crevices. Biggest thing I figured out with doing one coat is you want it as even as possible. Try not to have like big blotchy, completely covered spots with bare wooded spots. If that's the look you're going for. Some people like that look. But for this particular instance, I'm trying to get even coverage all the way across. Still have all the nice, pretty wood grain show through. It's almost like a wash, but using the paint without watering it down. And I just really, really like the look of how this Emperor Silk pulls that off over wood. It just looks really cool. And then once you're finished and you put on the clear wax, and it darkens it, gives it a real cool look, texture to it, and then the black just sets it right off at the end. So again, I'm just lightly dipping my brush, going in here, getting complete coverage, ensuring I don't have any big blotchy spots anywhere. Painting this on evenly throughout. Getting down in all the cracks and crevices is probably one of the most important things. You don't want to have a bunch of brown lines in your cracks because you want a little skimpy. So, and then as it starts to dry, because any Sloan paint dries pretty quickly, that's when you want to start getting the really cool lines. So going along with the grain, and just pulling it, almost pulling it back off to get that one thin layer for this particular look that we're going for today. So again, we're doing a thin layer to try to have some of the grain of the wood come back out, to couple with the striations of the black wax that we're going to lay on last. So you almost have two different sets of striations through it, the wood grain and then the black wax green kind of look that you're going to give it. So I'm just going in here and I'm pulling a little bit of this paint off. You've got a little thick down in this corner. Just keep going over it and over it and over it. And as it dries, it'll pull itself off. Okay? So, just a spot down at the bottom. You would like to get the bottom too. Ensure it's completely covered all the way throughout. Don't leave any spots kind of lingering with wood showing out. All right, there you go. So we're doing black wax over a bright color. Today it's Emperor Silk. And for this particular piece, I'm doing a wood with one coat of the Emperor Silk to bring a little bit of the texture of the wood out. So you're going to have the grain still showing, especially once you put the clear, it's really going to show through. And then we're going to do the black wax kind of over top of it to add to that grain look. So this is what you have right now. And you can see it's not completely covered. You can still see a lot of the grain from the wood. And then I'm going to clear wax and black wax. We're going to get black on the cracks and crevices, and then we're going to wipe off and leave some of the black details in there and some through the grain of the wood. And that's it. So what you're going to need is your bright color, your black wax, your clear wax, and obviously a wax brush and paintbrush. And that's it. Okay, so we're on to our next step. Our next step is going to be clear wax. So we're going to use our Annie Sloan clear wax, waxing brush, and a clean lint-free cloth. Basically, you're going to make sure that you got a good layer of clear wax on, wipe it off, leaving the good coat of clear wax on there, and then we're going to do the black wax over top. The clear wax is ultimately going to seal the paint and also allow the black wax to wipe off in the spots that you want wiped off. So but we'll get to that step next. So first, just going to take a good generous amount, get it on there, and just spread it on. And as you'll see, that dull kind of red color is going to start to darken up a little bit and give a little bit of shine to it. And what the wax is going to do, we're just going to get it all over into all the spots, cracks and crevices that they got on this thing. Make sure you get it all around the front and underneath. The biggest thing is you just get enough on there that it gives a good thin coat all the way around and all the spots where it needs to be to seal the paint, and also to give you that protective layer when you go to do the black wax. Then you're going to take your lint-free cloth and simply wipe off. You can see the paint will come with it a little bit, so you're probably going to use this rag probably just this one time. for this one project and throw it away. More than likely, I get a large bag of rags from Lowe's, or you can get some online too, that are basically cut up t-shirts. It's much easier, it's cheaper. You just use it as much as you're going to use it for that one project and then toss it, rather than having to worry about making any kind of attempt to wash fabric with wax on it. It's probably not the best idea. And there you go. Just that easy. You're going to put your coat of clear wax on, and as you see, kind of deepens the red, gives it a little bit of shine to it. And you can go back and buff this in about a half hour or so, really buff it on, or you can leave it as it is. Either way, it's not really going to matter a whole lot for the next step. I like to buff it because I feel like once it's buffed in real good, then black wax will come off easier. But it's done different ways, so it just depends on how you want to do it. Ultimately, the biggest thing is that you get that one layer on, and it gives that protective layer between the paint and the black wax, so the black wax will come off in the spots that you want. And that's it for now. Howdy all, hope you're enjoying the video so far, and if you are, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you know next time I add some new content, and please share. The biggest thing about my motto, or whatever you want to call it, is create, share, inspire, and that's what I'm trying to do. Create content to inspire people to start painting, to try new things, and just maybe step outside their comfort zone. So if you are enjoying this content, please hit that subscribe button, which will ultimately help me grow my channel and in turn allow me to reach more people. Okay, now we're on to our final step of using black wax over a bright color. Bright color we're using obviously is the Emperor Silk. This has been Emperor Silk one coat, so I have a little bit of the wood grain coming through. One coat of clear wax. It's been waxed, wiped, and then buffed a little bit after, and now we're going to do the black wax. So what I have is the Amy Sloan's black wax, and then brushes. Use any kind of brush, really. It just depends on how you want to apply it. In this situation, we have some more intricate detailed areas, so rather than using my normal, I don't know, small size brush, I have this real teeny tiny one that I think is going to be more beneficial to hitting the areas I want to hit and not hitting the other areas. Because what I'm going to do for this particular piece is in the grooves around the square boxes that we have, rectangle boxes we have, down in the crevices, and leaving the top alone, using the rag when I wipe off the excess to kind of drag across the flat areas rather than painting it on, because I don't want a thick black coat over the flat areas. I just want it in the detailed areas. So I'm going to take my brush, dip, and of course, if this is the first time you ever used wax, you're worried about ruining your piece. If you've clear waxed it well, then you should be able to wipe it right off. So there shouldn't be any issues with that. So you're just going to generously apply the black wax. And like I said, I want it in the detailed areas and kind of around the edges of the rectangle areas to give it a cool aged look. I guess is what you're going for anytime you're using the wax. Something that's going to build up over time naturally with the piece kind of look. So again, we're just going to drive it down into the main areas, going up over top of the ridge of the long rectangular areas to give a little accenting around the outside. And you'll see when I wipe it off how I can drag my rag into the flatter areas to give it that, streaked look. So it's not just plain red with black on the outside. You'll have some black on the top part too. So again, I'm using this little teeny tiny little brush for this particular piece because it just makes it easier to ensure I get it in the places I want it to go. So if you get it too big of a brush and you start applying down these cracks and crevices, then your brush jumps over onto the areas you don't want. So you just think about that when you're picking a wax brush, how much area you're really trying to hit with the brush itself. And then afterwards, what you're going to hit when you wipe it on and off with your rag. Because your rag's going to get quite a bit of wax on it, and enough where you can utilize the rag as kind of a mechanism to apply some wax in spots as well. So again, I'm just going in all the cracks and crevices. Doing this fairly quickly because obviously you don't want the wax to start to dry and make it hard for me to wipe back off. And after you've done this a few times, you kind of know how much to put on. I'm putting a pretty generous amount. As you can see it really well. This is not how much is going to stay on there. But after you pull it off, you'll see what kind of looks you get with it. Now for me, I'm going to do a couple of painted spots. I'm going to just kind of pull and drag from the corners and bring out across the flat areas a little bit, not too much, just to kind of darken the corners a little bit more. Like so you can even dip down into what you've already got on there. So just kind of the corners, drag some lines, give it some cool look to it. Okay, voila, there you go. So this is the wax before I've done any wiping, so it's just kind of thrown on there. But as you'll see, take my rag, I'm going to find a good flat spot. And now I'm just going to take and I'm going to wipe it right off. I'm going to do it kind of controlled because I want to leave the wax in the cracks and crevices, so I'm kind of pulling it tight and wiping it kind of one shot across like that. And I'm going to get another spot without a bunch of wax on it and continue that same method all the way around, attempting to leave the wax where I want it and take it out where I don't. Like so, like so, like so. Go around the outside edge. Alright. So now I wiped off. Oh, I missed the inside cracks. Let's see here. This is where it gets a little tricky because I want to leave it down in the deepest part and not all around it. And this is why you want to have disposable rags, so you can just kind of do what you got to do. Throw this thing in the trash when you're done. Alright, I'm going to bring it around this way for myself. You see I got some black on there. I'm going to leave that on there when I'm doing down here because I'm trying to keep that deepest crevice in there black. I don't want to pull off too much of the wax. I want to actually use the rag to keep the wax on, but wipe off just the corners of the edges for myself. So now this is kind of where you can get creative. You just decide, okay, does that look good or not? Well, for me, I'm going to do some of the flat areas. So I'm going to pull what I brushed towards the middle. So those corner spots where I darkened up a little bit, go back and make sure they're darkened up good, and just pull them to the middle, pull them to the middle, pull them to the middle. So your middle part's going to be the red, the outside's going to be the black. And of course, this is just, I mean, however, maybe you don't want any red on showing, or maybe you want all red and you're going to wipe all the black off. It just depends on how you want it to look. I know what kind of look I'm going for. So, and as you can see, it's starting to dry a little bit, so it's starting to already become a little harder to wipe off. So you really gotta maybe give it some elbow grease and pull it out, or better yet, get an area that doesn't have black all over it to help me pull some off. So as you can tell, this is kind of like the biggest step. the most intricately detailed piece of this. Painting on the red and painting on the wax, clear wax is kind of the easy parts. This part is where it's a little bit more difficult and definitely more detailed. You definitely have to take your time, make sure you get it just how you want it to look. But the cool thing is with the wax, if you clear waxed it, you can put more wax on if you wax too much off. You know, or you can just keep wiping if there's still like that spot right there, a little bit too much, I'll wipe a little more. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. So now what you have is that red, and it's got the streaks going across the flat part, and the black wax down in all the little cracks and crevices. So this is an example of using black wax over a bright color. Again, we started with Empress Silk. We did clear wax, one coat, and then black wax over top. Again, you want to use whatever application method, brush size that you're going to want to use to get in the cracks and crevices and not all over the areas you don't want. So just think about that. And this is what you can come up with. And that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, you learned something, and ultimately at the end of the day, get inspired to try it. I really hope you do. If you do, be sure to tag Refurbished Gentleman on Instagram and or Facebook, and just let me know, let me see what you've done. And of course, if you have questions, drop them in the comments down below, or you can find me on Facebook on a more day-to-day basis. Please, please, please subscribe, share this content out if you did enjoy it. And last but not least, if you do decide to utilize the products that I'm currently using that I'm recommending to duplicate this finish, you'll find everything in the links down below. They're all affiliate links, and those affiliate links will continue to support me and allow me to provide free content for you. And in some cases, I do have discount codes from the companies that I work with that'll allow you to get a little bit extra something off of your final purchase. So all those things are at no cost to you, but they do help me in the end continue to do what I love to do. So everybody have a blessed day, and as always, happy painting.